Why do you choose to be single?
For the same reason, I think, can you say it, I just got a lot going on. In my life, I'm real busy, so I'm part of this, and I'm part of that. I leave my house as a single man at 6:45 in the morning. I get home at 9:45 at night. So that's just me, doing me. And I know from being married and in relationships what it takes, commitment and time you have to spend to make somebody feel, that they're important. It's just that. You need to have that time. I don't have that time. And so I'm not mad about being single. Again, I choose to be single. Yeah, of course you can make the time. You hear that all the time. People make time for what they want to do. Right. And what I want to do right now is what I'm doing.
So I'm her. I'm gonna go ahead and wait on you, brother. I'm gonna wait on you. I know you got some problems. I got some too. We're gonna try to fix our problems. What's the time limit on patience, though?
Because often, a lot of times, we are not asked the questions that we need to be asked before we get married.
Yes.
I sit there often in my office, and the first five marriage busters, they clearly don't want to agree with things like finances. Some of them believe in monogamous relationships, the other one doesn't. And all that stuff did not come out. No one asked them the hard questions before they got married. And I believe that if we have somebody in our lives who will sit us down and go, before you make that move, let me talk to you for about a month. It ain't got to be a therapist, it could be a pastor. Let me talk to you for a while. Let me help y'all see what y'all can't see. You need some eyes outside of you.
Yes.
I need some eyes outside of me. I need some eyes outside of my wife that I just can't see. I got my stuff. My wife has her stuff. And I need somebody to go, did you hear her story? Did you hear what she said? And did she hear my story? Oh, you know what? Did you realize you're marrying your mother? Do you realize that she's looking for a father? And you find out that kind of stuff in a marriage and go, oh my goodness, he's looking for his mother, so I'm supposed to be his mother.
Moss, I have to come get some sessions. How much you charge, brother?
And I want to know, do you get a discount since we know each other now? Hook me with a discount.
That what we will tend to find out as women once we get married is that he's not as put together as we thought. And therefore, there is some, as a symbolic representation, he said, some assembly required. Not that we're the mama, not that we're the fixer, but in terms of what you thought and then what you have, there might be a gap. And I think that is very accurate because we as women will tend to have expectations that we have never really explored and thought deeply about, that we have inherited from our upbringing and conditioning. And so often men are trying to fulfill on the requirements we have, the expectations we have, that aren't even based on real human beings. They're based on as if a man was a thing. And so if the roles are reversed, we would probably be the ones trying to be what the other wanted us to be, projects onto us. So that is very real. And so he mentioned that men develop slower mentally, emotionally, and one of the things that happens is most of us are immature when we get married if we decide to do that. We haven't done our emotional healing work. If we were in a previous relationship, our hearts are closed, there's still bitterness and resentment there. We're confused from the previous relationship. We never got clear about why it went wrong or your part in it, and that's the only part you can take responsibility for. And then communication to me is not enough because women speak what I in my book call womanese and men speak manese. So to talk does not mean there's comprehension. I wish before I got married I had to take a class. Instead of me talking womanese to my husband, which I was doing and didn't realize it, him feeling frustrated because he knew I was saying something but couldn't comprehend what I was trying to communicate, I was speaking to him like he was another woman, where that style and pattern worked very well. So communication alone doesn't mean there's comprehension. So in Love Academy, I have to teach women how to convert what they're about to say in womanese to Manny's first so he can go, got it, honey, now I can give you what you want. But what happens is we start to conclude falsely and erroneously, they don't listen, they don't care. I had to tell them 1,000,000 times. I've had so many women use that little adage, I had to tell them 1,000,000 times. That's a clue that you're talking womanese. Because men want to please us. They really do, they're wired to want to please us. And then lastly,
Amen.
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 Can I buy a book right now?
They're over there. And so, I know that when I got married, I had a lot of success and achievement under my belt. I traveled around the world. I had a resume that was quite impressive, but what I did not know is that I was still immature in my emotional self, that I really didn't know how to be in a divine partnership. I really didn't know how to be in a covenant relationship. And so if you look at our conditioning, most of us really are not equipped for that level of relating to another person. And how do we know that we're not equipped? Because 51% of us are getting divorced. The other 49% are living like roommates in many cases, or staying together because of the kids. And so many of us in non-marriage relationships are cheating or disappointed. So the way we've been doing relationships, what we inherit has been failing us miserably. And the truth-telling, I really appreciate what the brother said. It's not only that men are in their boy, but we are in our girl. And we both have to come into man and woman, and that is absolutely a process that should occur before we get married, and usually doesn't. Or even into a relationship.
Can our relationship ever be fixed once an affair has taken place? So what I want to do, you get one panel, and I want to talk to somebody out in the audience.
Is there someone on the panel that wants to address that?
I would say if they're equally yoked, yes. If they both have the same beliefs, if they both believe, you forgive your brother, just as he has forgiven us in heaven, it can be fixed. They just gotta want to, though. Doesn't mean you don't forgive them, but just because you forgive somebody don't mean you gotta fool with them again. Depends on what that affair did. Did that affair bring about what? Was it just you talking to somebody else? Was you sleeping with somebody else? Did you make a baby with somebody else? Did you bring something back home from somebody else? Is there another bill? Are you bringing another bill into my home? I mean, real talk. Right. They gotta want to fix it. But like I said, I believe if they're equally yoked, if they both believe that, we got to forgive our brothers as God forgives us. Yes, it can. Because you forgive you 70 times 70 times 70 times 7, he forgives and he moves on. But that don't mean you got to fool with him no more.
And I am very transparent about this in my book, which shocks a lot of people. But me and my husband experienced what I call mutual serial infidelity. I had to make up a word. And what that meant was we both were cheating at a certain period in our marriage. And it wasn't just one person and a one-time violation, and it was over several years. And most couples, one time with one person outside your marriage, and folks are going down to see the divorce attorney. And I know many people that's been the case. So we not only fixed it, we were able to restore our marriage and transform it to better than ever. I don't know how to transform a marriage. Fix it you can do between the two humans, but if you're talking about transformation, I don't know how to get to transformation better than ever, true restoration, true forgiveness, and true freedom again without bringing God into it. Haven't figured out quite how to do that without God. And there's a process, I lay it out in my book. Most of us haven't done our forgiveness work. I had to do some serious forgiveness work and some growing up work and a whole bunch of other stuff, but I'm living testimony that you can recover. There is a process, and in the process I really had to grow up a lot too.
I believe that it's possible. But I do believe that number one, it takes ownership. It takes being able to name your failure. It takes being able to name who on both parts, but specifically the one who If it's the male who cheated, can he look his spouse in the face and name his failure? Can she listen and listen well? Can he look her in the face and take on how he's harmed his wife? And not just kind of let shame and guilt kind of make him close up, but you kind of now have to stand strong, stand foot firm, and allow. And you have to. When I've hurt my wife, I have had to look my wife in the face and not let my shame consume me, and be able to own that I hurt my wife greatly, and give her space to let me know how much she has harmed me. I'm sorry, how much I've harmed her. And so, humility is probably the biggest word that I can give. I think I need to add much, be humility. It will demand humility. It will demand humility, not just from the cheating spouse, but from the other women as well. Both. And I'm not saying that whoever was cheated on, again, I'm not putting it on you, but humility on your part too. Because it's still a marriage. And it's going to take a forgiveness that you've never known.
That's right. That's right.
About being real.
Yeah.
Being real is this. Yes, we've been married a long time. We've been happy for the most part. There have been times. Let me tell you that in a transparent moment, when you are doing work where it takes you out of the house a lot, it takes you away from a person, the other person can get lonely, especially if you're not paying attention in the relationship. And so that's what happened with us. I wasn't paying attention. And you know, we those of us who are ministers and who are singers and do what we do, we want to throw God up in everything. But God wants us, if we are married, to minister first to the person that we're married to. And so I was gone forever. I was gone all the time. Does not mean that he was not unfaithful in sleeping with someone or anything like that. But just because I was gone, it's easy for someone else to creep up and say, hey, I see you by yourself. Temptation is and I'm saying it, we had to talk about it a long, long time, because sometimes that type of infidelity is deeper than someone actually sleeping with someone else. When you're spending time talking with them over the phone, when you're spending time texting someone, you know, when you're sending emails, that can become more deeper than someone that's just, you know, I don't know what it is about a man having sex, I just know what it is about Robin having sex. What I do. But what I'm saying is, because of that, and I'll let him talk on his part, but because of that, it took us a minute. You know, that thing where we had to stay up 2 and 3 days to talk it out, where he couldn't go to work because it was either we fix it, and when you are in public and people see you in a certain way, it is hard. Lord God, today, it is hard sometimes to be in the public of whatever arena you call yourself being in. People expect you to be one way, and you're trying to continue that when your life is falling apart on the inside. It is hard. And so we had to figure out how we were going to fix that, so that our children are not sitting up going, Mom and Daddy are like everybody else. And our friends who are saying, if they ever broke up, the world would end. Well, we're on that way. So we had to figure out what we were going to do in order to
the fellas, I'm going to say this: never lose your hero status. And I say that to mean this. In every relationship, a lady looks for that man to protect her no matter what. It's you and her against the world. If there's doubt in her mind that you can't do that, you've lost that hero status. you can recover, it's going to take some communication. It's going to take a lot of communication and understanding. It took a lot of bending knee to get back my hero status.
But he got it.
It takes a lot. Yes, you can recover from it. And you have to ask yourself going into the relationship, what's a deal breaker? What can you think of that's going to break that deal? And then you sit down and you talk it over with your partner. What's a deal breaker? What's going to cause this relationship to end up in front of that black road? Other than something crazy like hillside strangler or some trash. But you have to ask yourself, what is a deal breaker and what's going to keep this marriage going? If you can't think of one, then you're golden.
I will say this, yes, you can. It has been done. People have moved beyond infidelity. But my thing is this, if you're going to get married, purpose not to.
Of course.
I mean, that's cheating on your spouse is the easiest thing in the world. And so, deal breaker, for me, that's a deal breaker. I told you're not cheating on me. If you do, you might as well get to stepping. So, I purpose, when I was married, that's one thing I'm proud of. 10 years together, 7 years married, I never cheated on. Had plenty of opportunities. I'm traveling to Chicago, DC, Detroit, Oakland, and LA. I had plenty of opportunities. That's where all the brothers and sisters are.
All I'm saying is never say never. You never know how to be tempted. But
So this is my thing. Don't even have no excuse to cheat. Purpose in your heart, if you're gonna get married, that you're gonna be faithful.
I think what I was feeling as you were saying that was, not about cheating, but just in general in my life when I was younger, I'd be like, oh, I'd never do that. And you just never know what kind of temptations you'll encounter. I do agree you should purpose in your heart to do your best, right? He had some temptations, fighting temptations. But to answer the question, I just would add that I just think it takes two people. It can't be one person saying, oh, I hope that, if I can just do this, if I can just do that, if I can just do this or just do that. If two people both want it to continue, then they can make it happen. Knowing how difficult it is to say,
girl,
Why did you fight?
Well, because I'm working here and got family and kids, and, I only have 2 children, but, and now I'm a grandmother of 4, and that's all great, good and wonderful, but the dating part, meeting someone to date that knows how to date properly before you can get to the marriage
You
part,
better preach.
and people will show you who they are over time. I am so thankful that I'm not married to anybody that I date right now. So I don't regret any of that, but I do look for a healthy, lasting, committed relationship. I would love to be married to somebody that's just, what do you call it, the cat's meow, and to the moon and back, and all that stuff you see on Facebook and everything. I think people are afraid to come together. We don't know how to come together properly. We don't know how. I know there's a question on here about courting versus dating and all that, but I'm hearing so much about marriage, and it's like, well, we can't even get to that point because we can't even date right, okay? So that's my issue out there. And dating has changed. There's dating apps. There's the Black People Meet, which I am on, okay? It's different. Was on it once before, came back to it just to test the waters and see what was out there because I too work a lot, don't have a lot of time, but I don't want that to be my excuse for not meeting someone. We all have busy lives. We all do lots of great, wonderful things. I run a business and I sell cars in Jackson, over Bellevue, okay? So, and my K-pop business, which I hope you guys all enjoy. But with that said, there's a part that's missing. There's something that's missing. And why is that?
Mimi guy said you're just missing him. He said he ready for you.
It is an issue.
You and your K-pop.
Has the church hurt relationships more than they have helped?
I think it does depend on the church. I I do think the church that says, don't pay attention to your feelings, just pay attention to what I say or just what you read is dangerous. And I say that because your feelings are your internal GPS. And I can personally say before I got married, I was having feelings that something was a little off. But it was like, oh, God, 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 and shut that off because don't be moved by what you feel and you see and all this other stuff. So I think it depends on what you go to. When people tell you to shut down your feelings, I just get a little jittery.
That's a loaded question. You know what I mean? I think it's hard for me to not answer that in my own paradigm, right? And where I'm at. I think our problem, at the end of the day, it becomes how you follow and how you engage your church body. I'm not following a man. So my answer is always going to be no, because I take responsibility for myself. The pastor can say whatever he wants to say. I got the book for myself. I can read it for myself. I can understand it for myself. The book is not manipulating me. The book is not telling me not to pay attention to my feelings. The book is not telling me any of that. So just as Christ said, when it comes to the Pharisees, right? Listen to what they say, but don't do what they do. So at the end of the day, the church system, yeah, but I'm not really following that system. I'm following Christ for myself, and I have that personal relationship. And so, yes, people are being affected by it, but personally, I would look at, me personally, right, let's say something simple like the cheating, right? So me and my lady, we broke up. We were together years ago. We had a child. We broke up for a decade. Got back together, right? Long story, we got back together, etc. And when we were together the first time, we cheated a ton, right? We were young. And then when we got back together, it was like nothing had changed. I'm not talking about in the way we acted. The way we responded to one another was like, you cheated on me, right? There was absolutely no healing. We didn't think we would have to go through the healing process because we broke up. I holla, peace. And then when we got back together, here we are together, and now we have to go through this process. And I can answer the question that without the church and without God, we wouldn't be engaged today. Because it was everything that was, we did little simple things. And it kind of ties to the whole cheating thing. We, practically, right? So yeah, the answer is yes. In my opinion, you can cheat and get back together and be okay. Practically, we had to look and be honest at us for where we are. I don't trust you, you don't trust me. I want to trust you, you want to trust me. I love you, you love me. How do we build that bridge? So she had to say what her points were and I say what mine, and then we looked, and then for me, as long as I'm real and it's not an issue, nothing is an issue. So it was simple things. We looked and said, how do we build a consciousness amongst the two of us that provides for safety and a safe place to grow? For us, sometimes you're in a relationship and you're trying to have a conversation with your spouse. Well, you're here and they're here. So you've been here your whole day and you can't wait to talk to them, and then you talk and they're not in that same space. You're like, man, well, how do we get there? We went and bought a couple books. Not the Bible, books, right? Couple books on how to heal our relationship, and we just started reading them together. I said, you read, I'll read, we'll both highlight, and then whatever you highlight and I highlight, those will be the conversation points. And that helped us, and we were able to learn. I remember reading about a pastor who said he doesn't do meetings alone. That was just his own thing, with women, excuse me. He doesn't do meetings alone with women, and it was just a safety thing. And I was like, that's kind of cool. I do a lot of business. Babe, I'm not gonna do meetings alone with women. And she was like, oh, thank you. You know what I mean? And we started doing it, and it was a safeguard to me. I've never been faithful to a woman in my life until now. And so I've been faithful, and it ain't been because I've always wanted to. It's because a part of it is safeguarding myself. It's taught, if you sending me an email, she's getting it too. So at the end of the day, really, she got all the codes. We good. It's not a problem. I'm good with that. It's not a problem because I don't care. It's a problem if I had anything to hide, I get it. Privacy, I don't need any. I'm not tripping, right? So it's like, it's cool. So my answer would be, yes, the church can be a hindrance, but if you take responsibility for yourself, and that goes from tithe paying to relationships to everything else that you want to blame the church for, if you take responsibility for yourself, the answer is absolutely not. God is not manipulating you. He's trying to liberate you, love you, and lead you.
before I go to this one, I'm gonna throw something out to the ladies in the crowd. Man hasn't physically touched another woman, but he calls or texts her on a regular basis. Is he cheating? Yeah. If a man has not physically touched a woman, but they talk to each other on the phone, text, go back and forth, is he cheating? The only reason why I'm asking that question is I know some cats who grew up with females, they friends, man, right? And they talk, right? But women and men see things different. Huh?
That's not.
No, that's not. But the question that I'm asking is it still cheating?
Are they her friends? Or is his girlfriends her friends too? I didn't hear.
That's gotta be.
I said no because it depends, you know. If they're friends from way back when and they talk about everything, that's one thing. If he's married and they're talking intimately, his wife needs to know that's his friend. You know, and if the wife has a problem, then they need to curtail that. But it just depends. If it's the boss he's texting all the time, it just depends. Who is he texting and talking to all the time, but he hasn't touched her? That's what was my question.
No, because I heard you said no. Come on now. Come on.
I don't care who he's texting. It doesn't matter if they're talking, I'm saying this, it doesn't matter if they're talking intimately in the text. If he's choosing another woman to spend his time with, or if he's going to get his car washed, or whatever, that's not.
We said we were gonna talk. We said we was gonna. It says real talk, no chasing. So
Straight talk, no chasing, brother.
Close.
Okay.
So it's fun. It's like education. But some people, man, this is gonna help some people. I know it's helping me. I got some questions from my own. I'm serious. So anyway,
All right.
Hey Sarah, can I get another drink up here?
Make it a double, we gonna need that.
I have a saying that for men and women, I truly believe there's only two type of relationships. And that's some you've been with and some you're trying to get with. So if a man is texting you repeatedly like that, or a woman is texting you repeatedly like that, and you are in a relationship, then for the most part it's wrong, unless you're living like Doomy and your partner is able to see these text or emails or whatever kind of communication you have going on. For the most part, I feel like men, excuse me brothers, but we are savages and we are predators. So if a man is texting my lady, then I have a problem. There's no reason for you to be texting her at all. So unless, well, no, she shouldn't be letting him text. Hell no, excuse me. There shouldn't be any real communication like that unless it's some kind of business or something. If it's a late text or it's starting to be every day or anything like that, I just don't feel like the communication should be going on like that if you're in a relationship.
That's not real right there. Like code on the phone. Should your partner have your code to your phone? Yes. The code to your phone.
Wait a minute. Every man in here got quiet.
We like having the code. The women was like, yes. I need the password, the code, the security number.
First of all, we asking questions that's all individual. He decided, him and her decided that she could have his codes and he could have hers. Whatever. And I'm just saying, it's just that's individual though. That ain't no group thing. That's where relationships get messed up, when groups start telling people you should have his code. You shouldn't have his code. You don't want you to have it, you don't want to have it. But your group told you should, so now you're gonna go to them and say like, I need your code. Get your own damn phone. I mean, it's a group, it's an individual thing. If they decide that they want it and you can give it to them, then do it. I mean, it's not a group. thing on the head. It's like, if you're gonna enter into a relationship, you determine what you're gonna do. And if you ain't down with what the other person wants, then you gotta get them stepping. Right? Because two people have to come together in agreement. Right? And so they're engaged, so they're doing that now. All right? To prepare to get married. But sometimes one of the other person wants to take things way too fast. And you're like, well, slow down. I'm not ready to give you my code to my phone yet. That don't mean I'm cheating.
Right.
I just ain't ready. Can you wait for me to get ready? And if you can't wait for me to get ready, well, you're not the one. Right? Get your own damn phone, right? But that's real talk. That's real talk. And I think that people get messed up and all bent out of shape because the person's not ready to take the step that they want. And then they start dreaming up stuff about them because they won't do what they want them to do. And so be aware when people get mad at you because you won't jump off of your agenda and get on theirs. I just said something right there. If you're having fights because you won't do what they want you to do, that's a problem. Because you have to come into agreement.
We all want to come up, right? We all want to get to the next level, right? But there's some folks who, this question says, why do women and men want a partner that exceeds them in class or status? Therefore, we're saying, it says, a person who doesn't take care of themselves want to get with somebody who does. A person whose finances is jacked up want to get with somebody who got A1 credit. I'm just saying, I got bills.
We're all grown. If you're gonna screw up. You don't want nobody to have less than you. Why would you, if you don't have nothing, why you gonna marry somebody that don't have nothing? Come on.
Bad credit, you got bad credit, where we going? Right. I can't get that thing about it. Is that I want you for your credit score. I want to know how you got there. Teach me and I'm gonna learn. Show me how to, if you know how to take care of your money and I don't, well baby, here it is. Okay, put me on a budget. If this is the man that I'm trying to build a life with, not any old Negro. Here, and just because he rock a Mercedes or some fresh Timbs don't mean he is him. Okay, I like him rough. Stop, okay? Hey, I like him rough. That's all. Ain't nothing wrong with Timbs, baby. You know, but we'll talk. You know, why would I mess with someone who's doing just as bad as me? What we gonna do? Cry together? Me last night. Me and my man, we cried together. I mean, but I just, no, I need somebody, you know, if I'm down, I need him to be up. Come on, baby, come get up, let's go and do this. That's the man I'm trying to follow. All my life I have to fight. Till you do right by me, every cut you spin is gonna scratch. Till you do right by me. Men in here want a broke woman? Hi, my name is Kenya. I'm forever 21. I have one son and one grandbaby.
So you motivated to get some money? Well, you motivated, let's get it, baby.
What a trooper. You guys been friends?
Oh, yeah.
Inbox me.
Talking about that if I don't have nothing, I want somebody to bring me up. But the bottom line is, brothers and sisters that got their stuff together, they're not looking to bring nobody up. I'm 46 years old. I know I got like 20 to 30 more years of my life. I'm damn one about pulling somebody up. I want somebody that's at least with me or can bring me up. Or we can work together, but I'm not trying to bring nobody up. So you ain't going fishing? No, I'm fishing, but I'm trying to catch some big fish.
Hey, Kenya said, are you married?
I'm single.
That's why, because you don't want to have nobody.
Hell, you good in your relationship because you done effed up a lot. I know I'm a good man. I know I'm ready for a good woman because guess what? I done messed up a lot in my last 30-some years a day. I done so much garbage. I don't even, like I said, you can take all, hell no, I'm not going that long. No, I'm not even going 91 days. Not even 1999. That ain't working for me. I'm telling you that right now.
Okay, 253, wait, write this down, 257.
So I think he kind of squashed where I was going. I was just going to kind of put an exclamation point on it.
I want to marry you. Let's do it.
She's single.
Damn. You don't even know what kind of problem she got. I done had me a cute one. I'm just saying, I done had me a cute one.
He speaks his mind. So, Brother Lenard, would you like to contribute to the conversation, brother?
What?
Huh?
What's your name?
What do you think about what you've heard so far?
About what? We've been talking about a lot.
Okay, come on in. Fix up.
Can she get your cold? Can she get your cold?
My code?
Your phone code.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it was in that one, like that, yeah. If I had nothing to hide, we in that committed relationship, she'd get my code. That's cool.
Wow.
Huh? You don't give me the mic and try to snatch the
So there's a lot of women in life that after they have turned a certain age decide they're going to do things differently. And after the age of 40, 30, 40, 50, 60, they decide that they don't want to have sex until they get married.
Say that again.
That's the question. So there's some women out there who said, after, maybe they have had children out of wedlock or children, whatever, they had some life, and now they decided that they're not going to have sex until they get married. Re-virgin, is that a show?
That's on Born Again Virgin.
Well, I saw a commercial. The question is that okay? Should a man be angry or upset because she is not ready to have sex?
I'm not waiting.
You're not waiting?
I'm not waiting. Hell no.
Because you 46?
You will wait.
Okay, so this is
Yeah, she the right one, you damn right.
But I do think that, everybody has the choices, whatever works for you. But I know that there comes a lot of emotional strain from when you are sexually active with a person who you don't really find that maybe this is the person that it is that is going to be for you. Whether it be that night, a week, a month, whatever, but it does come with it. And so at some point in time, you have to realize that you are moving a little bit fast and you should slow it down. Okay, so right about now, you're waiting until we get married. That's the choice that I'm making. Maybe.
Should he be mad?
No, was that what the rest of the question was? Oh, no, he shouldn't be mad. Because just as well, like he's had to deal with a lot of emotional baggage too, because on one end, okay, if you decide that I'm gonna be with I'm with this woman, and you know how men be, let's keep it real. I'm not wrong for saying that. I'm not wrong for saying that, but you do know how men be sometimes though. You do know how they be. So
How they be? Hold on.
Okay, a guy is good. A guy would be okay. So I don't know how everybody else is on the panel, but I am in my I'm in my 30s, like yours. Okay. So, you know, a guy is good to tell, at first it seems good, and we'll just take this for example. I have a friend, he's right now texting me talking about he's so into my friend, he's so into her. I'm like, oh yeah, really, until you hit it, right? Yes, I am in this relationship, and it is what we had said. At that point, you know, signals are getting crossed. So then women become emotional, and we have things that we're tugging on you and you're pulling away, and so it causes confusion. So at some point, if you do feel like you are trying to get married to someone, the man, if you feel like that about her, you should be willing to wait just as much as she wants to wait.
Are we talking about after the, hold up, we talking about two people in a relationship, having sex, and then she decides, I don't want to have sex no more.
Either way it goes. Either way it goes. It doesn't matter. Either way it goes. Because at the end of the day, either way it goes.
Be respectful, be respectful. Hold up, I'm just saying this. I'm saying if I meet a girl and she's 40 whatever and she says, you know what, I'm not having, okay, fine, I got you, I met you like that. If we meet and we having sex and then all of a sudden you go, I want to get married, until we get married we ain't having sex.
Wait, what's wrong with somebody changing?
Get it and go. If I meet you and you saying that from jump, then that's my choice. That's me going into it, going saying, I got you. If you're gonna who I'm gonna be with and we decide that's not gonna be the case, that's not gonna be the case. I'm good with that. We're not gonna get in a relationship and we sexually active and we doing whatever, and then all of a sudden because you're not getting something you want, you're gonna say to me, we not having sex no more.
It depends on the motive. If the motive is the person's feeling.
I just said if she said I want to get married, unless you get married, we ain't having sex. I'm just saying at that point, then you're playing games.
Okay, so let's hear from, hello, I got people riled up out here. Get the boxing gloves out. So let's hear from our relationship experts about this one. Man. You're an expert guy.
Well, the question that Cynthia asked was, if a woman says, no sex, that's my stance right now, should a man get angry? No, Isaiah said, if you are now engaged in sex, then she comes back and says, stop. And the question was, would you get angry? He said, yes. There's no argument around that. And I think most men would say, if we were already screwing and then you decide we're gonna stop, there would probably be an upset dude on the other side. So, I mean, that, don't make it more than it is. Okay, that was the question, that was the answer.
What I'm hearing is that people are just getting together because for whatever little reasons, but it's not really because they have an ideal relationship they're looking for. And so I came here tonight to get some information that might be able to curtail and get me more towards hearing something different and learning something new. There's a better way of doing relationships, and it's number one, knowing what you want. Number two, not compromising just to fulfill your emotional self, but trying to be honest, because you can't continue, in my opinion, doing the same things and expecting different results.
Whatever. I think the guy should respect the woman if she decides not to want to have sex.
right there.
Maybe she decided that she wanted to wait, and I think that's a good thing because she wants to respect her body and not get emotionally attached without marriage. I think that man should be able to respect her in that situation because I think women can change their minds and things can go different for them. So I think that the guy should be able to say, okay, I love you enough to respect your body and to not feel like offended or hurt because it's like she maybe wants to wait and have a different kind of a connection. Maybe it's over conversation or something that he's doing, or just like she wants to be able to relate to him without having intercourse. And I think that's important. I think, you know, sometimes you get caught up because the physical, your mind gets confused and you don't realize, okay, does this person love me for real? If we go through trials or tribulations, will they love me? If I'm not the perfect person they think I am, will they still love me? Will they still stand with me? You know, just that kind of thing. I think men should be able to respect that as a woman. And I think you should know a woman before you have sex with her because you want to know her emotional side before you meet the physical side.
Now you want real talk? I'm gonna give you real talk. I'm gonna tell you why this is a problem. I'm gonna tell you why that's a problem. It's very simple. It's very simple why it's a problem. If you are a man, and all the men know, if you're a man and you got experience, and you've been with a lot of women, you done had some great sex, and then you wait for that woman and she telling you, and she fine, and you like, yeah, I'll wait. And you wait and wait and wait, and then you even crazy enough to take her to the altar. And then that night that you consummate the marriage, and it's whack. Your ass going to divorce court, I know.
She said, maybe it's a good thing because he can't get it up.
Here you do right by me. I feel that sex is it's part of the relationship, but it's not the relationship. And I think that if you're looking for something deeper than that, and when you make a connection with somebody, in my experience, if you like somebody, that enhances the sex in itself. And that's another part of it. It's not, if that's your main goal, most people that complain about sex are just looking for sex. Amen. You know, but if you're actually trying to get in a relationship and do something else, then I haven't been that disappointed in my life. The other thing is this. When I was at the Pan African Film Festival a year ago, it's an old guy, Iceberg Slim. And he said that, he's an old pimp, he's dead. He said that when you're chasing that thing, women got this much power. He said when you stop chasing it, they got this much. But this is the deal. If a man values his organ like you value yours, then what says I want to just share mine with anybody? See, so for me, I'm selective in what I do because I think it's a fair exchange, ain't no robbery. We both doing this thing, so I'm not willing to just beat somebody. Brothers talking about I met him and I hit him last night. No. See, when I grew up, there was a pill, a shot, or some ointment, and you was good to go. We got some stuff now that'll keep you itchy, and so it'll kill you. So I'm saying,
we don't do it differently. Y'all just slow.
Next question.
We got one more, and then we're gonna move on.
I hear so much real across the board in the room, you know what I mean? So it's real, recognized real, that's where I'm from. So, my past ain't the best past, I'm real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm from the hood, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's a process to all of this. And we're acting like we don't grasp the very fact for me, right? And this is not a projection on how anybody else should do it. You are your own person. But for me, when I got down on one knee and said, this is what I want to do, right? Let me take you back. We was in a relationship. So I'm from the same place you from, right? But at the same time, the most common logic just says, how's that working for you? Right? Just, you know what I'm saying? Even the scripture says they're so wise they become fools. So you got these concepts. The numbers say people who sleep together before marriage have way worse, you know, lasting and successful relationship than those who don't. So I can maximize this concept called sex so that it becomes everything, right? And so for me, I hollered at my chick, I'm real. So, you know, we got back together. I'm like, man, we ain't gotta wait till we get married. Let's get it popping. And she froze up, right? She had this big, it sent her back to 1995 and she's crying. I'm like, oh God, this is ridiculous, right? But nonetheless, something in me said, all right, cool, I'm gonna respect her, I'm gonna hold that down. And I ain't touched her. And it's been 3 years, right? So I said, I'm gonna hold this, right, for you. Because at the end of the day, I can't make a commitment that I'm gonna hold you down in marriage. If I'm gonna do that then why can't I do it now? So when I say the process, right? When I say it's a process, I mean this. I don't know what, at the end of the day, you don't know what comes for you in your marriage 5 years down the road. She can get paralyzed, anything can happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, right? So my commitment, let's say this, let's take your thing. I got married, I hold out, we get married, day after the marriage, it's whack. Let's just take that, it's whack. First off, I'm sorry, let me say this, prior to that. I'm having a conversation all the way up to. So this is what I like, this is how I like it, this is what needs to happen. This is Hello. So if you have articulated you're with this, and I've articulated I'm with that, at that point, you said You said, right? Now I gotta be able to take you at your word. You with this. I don't need to taste it. I just need to know it's there, right? Tell me it's the aroma of something. I gotta taste this. I mean, man, let a brother get a whiff. So, right? So, I know, so, right? So we know it's there. She says this is good. I got needs, and this is how I'm gonna need it, and is that good? Once we are square, even if I got to the day of the consummation and it was whack, like anything in our marriage, we can work on that. Like anything. So I'm saying, hold on. I know, you don't want to help nobody. I'll mess with you. But my point was just, it's not fair when you've been out there and you've had one night stands and all that, and one woman did this and the next woman did that, and then now she coming in trying to compete with a multiplicity of women who all did different things well. It's completely unfair. And so even for myself, I feel like I need the detox. I have no idea what it waits for me on the other end, but what I am saying is, I'm not just talking about sex though, whether it's a money issue, a character issue, a conversation issue. My commitment is to walk with you and work through it, even if it takes time for life. And so, let me say the last thing, which speaks to her thing about the dating. I'm so good, I'm enjoying you. The sex is just a cherry on top. I can't wait for that cherry though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
What Dewey's talking about is real, and what men need to step up and do.
We're talking about love.
Because here's the thing, when you love a woman, you do anything for that woman. That's the bottom line. You won't even listen to folks with 5 points and tell you not to get married.